Deep in the forests of North America, a creature is said to exist. A creature that people are encountering.
Seriously, look how big it is.
With far too many reports to ignore, there are elements of truth behind these accounts that mankind can no longer
It's
ignore.
created almost this obsession where I need to find out
Could a
more.
breeding population of large, upright, hairy hominids really exist in North America? Or is there something more paranormal at work here? Digging the woods. If just one footprint, one wood knock, or one howl was real, then man's understanding of primate evolution would be changed forever. Join Glenn Purcell and the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective as they delve further into the mysteries of Bigfoot and other paranormal phenomena through the eyes of witnesses, investigators, critics, and skeptics. Join us as we look to discover what lurks from behind tall trees.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. I have a really special guest. I'm actually super excited about this because I've seen all the episodes and I've been dying for season 2. So if they're going to make a season 2, I don't even know. So let's get started because I'm super excited. Hi, how are you? Besides feeling under the weather. God love him. He's here tonight doing the show with us, despite the fact that he doesn't feel very well. So I thank you for that. That's pretty awesome. So you and I have something special happening in another month. Oh my gosh, it's like a month and a half away.
Yeah, it's coming up real close.
It's coming real fast. Do you have your airline tickets yet?
I don't at the moment, but I'm going to very shortly.
It's okay. I don't either. I have my hotel, but not my airfare.
I have been looking at prices like every other day.
Yeah, it's expensive to leave the country.
Yes, they're going up and down too. It's weird.
It is crazy.
Like a big swing on prices.
So what we're talking about is the UK Cryptid Conference that our very special friend Daniel Lee Barnett is putting on. And we are both going to be there. So yay!
It's going to be super exciting. I've always wanted to go to England, and I've always wanted to go to one of these conventions.
Have you not? You've not been?
I have not.
What?
This is going to be my first one that I'm going to. I'm so excited.
Now we're going to have to do something really special for you while we're there.
And now I'm like,
cool.
Hopefully this opens up doors. And now I'm finding out about all these other ones going on in your area in Florida. And been researching, like there's some in Washington, Oregon. I'm like, this is really cool.
It is. Do they not have anything like that in Alaska?
They do, but I've just worked so much that I like, they have a Comic-Con coming up here in like a week or so.
Oh, wow.
I think it's a week. But it's, I'm usually working, so I never get to see these kinds of things. And I'm just really excited to actually be a part of one.
That's going to be really cool. That's going to be cool. Well, now I'm even more excited.
Yeah.
Because I was super excited when I had my very first Bigfoot sighting.
Oh, I bet.
I did not believe in Bigfoot at all. And I saw one. And then I started watching all the shows. And in that lineup of shows was Alaskan Killer Bigfoot. Now, let's talk about this. That is one of the craziest stories that I think I've ever heard, ever. The whole story of Portlock, Alaska is very sad. Is that true?
It is true.
All of those events are true.
Yes. I grew up hearing them, and I kind of thought it was like our version of like the Brothers Grimm, you know, the fairy tales and stuff.
Yeah.
And because, you know, we'd always be told, you know, don't go in the woods when it's, especially when it's foggy. Don't be whistling at night and everything. And I was just like, okay, whatever. But we have a cabin up like a few miles away from our village out in the mountains. And so I'd go up there and go work on the cabin or cut firewood or something and get it ready for the winter. And then I stayed there by myself sometimes, and that was definitely a night where there was something pounding on the cabin. It was like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, okay, maybe that was a branch. And then it started pounding again in like the same pattern. And then I was like, I don't have a radio. I don't have no one else is up here to like go see them. So I just got on the four-wheeler and drove back home to my village.
Hightailed it out
I
of
didn't
there.
even look back or anything. And I didn't even think about it until when we started doing the show, and they're getting these newspaper clippings. Jeff Davis, who's going to be there, he did a lot of research and found like newspaper articles and stuff like that from like San Francisco and New York. And I was like, so I'm like reading this book that our family members like typed up with typewriters and did like hand drawings. And, you know, that's why I was thinking it was like the Brothers Grimm. But now that I think about it, it had like, it talked about how to make like a fish wheel and traps for like snares and stuff for trapping, and you know what plants you can eat and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. When we were making the show, I was like, so these books, all these stories, like they're true. Like,
wow.
And then I started putting it all together and seeing all the clippings, and I was like, because in those books they also talk about how to make kayaks and skiffs and stuff like that, and detailed drawings and instructions. And I'm like, one of the things that our grandmother told us was don't ever go to Portlock because it's evil. And everything just started clicking as, you know, when we were setting up camp. And I'm like, wow, like this could be something amazing, or this could be it for me. Like, I don't know.
Did you tell her you were going?
Oh, she passed away a while back. So like, it was definitely like something that was in the back of my mind. Cause
I bet.
She always, like, she literally told all of her grandkids, great grandkids and great great grandkids, like, about the stories and stuff. And it was just like, yeah, grandma's telling us stories, you know. But
didn't think it was real.
Yeah, and then when they started, like, the production team started showing me all these clippings and articles and like all this historical facts that Jeff got it for us, I was like, oh, this isn't fairy tales. Like, okay. I've always been a believer just because I've heard those stories and stuff, and growing up isolated basically, where you can only get there by boat or plane, like you just respect everything around you.
Right.
Because you don't know if it can help or harm you. So
did that make you skeptical of going there? Like, have you been there before?
No, I haven't been there before. Like, I've always wanted to go there. Like, it's not far from our village. It's like a few miles over the mountain, like 10 miles along the coast or so.
But it's like taboo to go there. Nobody goes there.
Yeah. Like the weather, like just the geographical, like how it's laid out, like the weather can change on you in an instant. And
oh, wow.
Like when we first got there and started setting up, it was blowing 45, 50 miles an hour and gusts up to 75, 80 miles an hour.
That's incredible.
And I was like, we picked the wrong time to come and set up a tent and camp and everything. I wish it would have got on the show, but the tent actually lifted up in the air like 10 feet and then moved like 30, 40 feet away.
Oh my gosh.
Like right before we anchored it down, like it just went up in the air, and I was like, man, we don't have any cameras rolling. cool.
Wow, that's incredible. That was not in the show because I would remember that.
Yeah. Because I remember our director of photography was telling us about his drones, and we're like, oh, that'd be so cool, to get one up in the air. Then he's like, it's blowing way too hard. Like, I don't want to lose it.
Right.
So it was like totally understandable. But yeah, it was just like extreme winds and stuff. And it was April, and we were getting snow, rain, and the winds all at the same time.
Oh my gosh. How was it for you?
At first, I was pretty terrified because we were coming in on a boat, and the fog was all the way down to the water.
Oh.
When we were pulling in, and I was like,
omen number one.
It started like coming, like my hair's on the back of my neck, and I was just standing straight up, and I was just like, okay, like we're not supposed to go in the fog into the woods, and here we are.
Going into the fog.
Going Portlock, it's evil. And I just kept looking at Keith, my cousin, and I'm like, man, this doesn't feel very good at all.
Oh my gosh.
And so, we and him, we stuck really close together the first few days because it was just, the weather was not like ideal at all. And
wow.
it was definitely an experience. And after that first week is like, I really don't want to be here.
Really?
The snow was deep. Like we were sinking. We were trying to hike around, and we were sinking up to your knees in the snow. And I was like, this is not
fun.
And it's crazy because like within, the 45 days or so, like the snow melted, and like our summers are really short in Alaska. We don't have like a big spring or fall season. So literally, like in a couple of weeks, everything's starting to turn green already.
Oh, geez.
So
why didn't they film during the green season?
They did, like towards the end. I wanted, like after they're like, yeah, we've been here for like 40 days. We got a couple more days left. I'm like, man, we should just film for like another like 2 months. Like, well, it's like green, and we can go hiking, and we can go foraging, and get more fish and stuff. And it was, so I ended up loving it down there. Like,
I bet.
I see why my people lived here for a long time.
It looked beautiful, and it made me like from the second you guys got on the boat to go out to that island, I was hooked. I was like, I want to go there. Like, so, I was like, oh my gosh, it would be amazing to go there and just look around and see the stuff, and maybe get killed. It just
when we were pulling in, or not when we were pulling in, it was foggy. But when we were out in the boat, you'd look around, the mountains would just be so big and green. It just always reminded me of like the scenes and like when they're flying into the Jurassic Park, and everything is just huge and just green. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing.
That is incredible. It was incredible. The whole show was incredible. If you haven't seen it, you really should go watch it because it's freaking beautiful. I can't say anything more about it. Thank you, Sadie. What was some of the scariest moments you had out there? Because I can imagine, Bigfoot aside, there's probably quite a bit out there that you need to be concerned and worried about. Bears, for example.
So one of the first, we had Kyle on the show. He was our bear guard. Like he was literally working 24 hours a day.
Oh my gosh.
And he was always on, edge because it's his job.
Right.
So having him actually on the show too was amazing because he's very knowledgeable and is just a great person to be around, especially when you're out there.
Right.
And so like I think it was the first like few days we were there as well. He started to hear something, and like a really high pitched, it almost sounded like I don't know how to explain it. They said it was kind of like a bear, like a young bear, just squealing.
Wow.
And it was weird because there was still like 2 feet of snow on the ground.
So they shouldn't be out at that time.
So yeah. And so they went to go investigate while I got to stay at camp and cook food. And I was like, wait a minute here, guys. Like, can someone stay to watch my bag just in case? Because
the guy with the gun is leaving.
With everyone. Isn't this how, like, predators, attract their prey out and then take them out one at a time? Leave me with the gun or something so I feel safe. I have these knives, but...
Nice. You were literally in the bush for like 45 days, 50 days. Like, you didn't leave that island. Correct?
No. Well,
no.
We left a couple of times so they can upload, but we would be gone and then we'd come back within like a day or so. But we were there, and it was like I grew up close by there, so it was it was like a different scene of home. But like I was after 2 weeks there, like I just started to feel comfortable, and
oh, nice.
Like I started to really enjoy it. And back to what we were talking about, the scary parts. When me and Noah went out and we all split up and we were just checking, we set up an audio recorder on an old barrel near the cannery site. And we were just listening and trying to be quiet. And then his dog started going crazy. Like something was around and he couldn't like pick out where it was. And we were there for at least an hour just trying to pick up any kind of audio recordings. And I didn't like play them back or anything. But when Kyle pulled out the laptop, like that was literally my first time hearing that. Wow. And that freaked me out because it sounded like just this weird noise, and it sounded like it was right behind my ear.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, because I didn't hear anything because the wind was blowing so much and it was kind of a little whistling here and there.
Right.
But hearing that recording, I was, that freaked me out. And when Ron came and they decided to find the biggest Bluetooth speaker they can find, and we took it to the woods, and the show didn't do it justice how loud that speaker was. And so they decided at 3 a.m. that we're gonna go walk over to the cabin area and blast his recordings of the Sierra Nevada sounds, and I'm
my gosh,
this is a bad idea. Like,
but it's Ron Moorhead. Are you gonna say no?
3 a.m.
Yeah.
We got flashlights and like this doesn't seem like a smart idea.
God.
And when they played it, like the audio in the show, like they definitely toned it down,
right?
So it's not. So it was just. It was extremely loud, and then you can see and hear all the bushes start to shaking and the trees, and for like a good solid 10 minutes, which felt like it was 5 hours.
Right.
And then the birds started chirping and flying out of the brush, and I was like, the birds don't come out and make noise at night like this. Yeah, they were freaking out, and then guy was right in front of me, and he just turns back, and he's like, "Did you feel that?" And I felt something, like on the ground,
Yeah.
And then the audio guy, he looks over at him, and he's like, "I picked that thump up," and he's like, "You heard that rock being thrown?" And I was like, "Oh man, this is." I was like, so Ron, what happens when they do these noises? And he's like, oh, some people have been attacked after they're played. I'm like, oh, okay, like
this is great.
Yeah, so like every like 2-3 days, like when you start feeling comfortable or whatever, something pops up. You get noises, wind. You get Ron playing his music for everybody to wake up at night.
How long was Ron there?
Ron was there for, I think, 2-3 days.
Okay. In the show, it makes it seem like he flew in, he did his thing, and he flew out.
No, yeah, he was there for a couple of days for sure.
Nice.
He was. I really enjoyed having conversations with him. He's got so much knowledge about not just Bigfoot, but just like camping and hiking, and he was telling us stories. Like it was not his intention to be where he's at now in life, because he was just going with his friends to the cabin and all of a sudden heard those recordings, and then it just triggered him to fully go into research, investigations, everything. He was a great person to be around.
Goodness.
Bless you.
Thank you. I don't know where that came from. Jeez.
You sound like how I feel.
I get these like short little, like where I sneeze 10, 20 times and then I'm done for days. I don't know what the deal is. You also had a lady come out there who had psychic abilities. She was kind of like, she made me nervous and I wasn't even there. I was like, oh my gosh, they got to be out there. And like, she's talking about bad spirits. And then there was that rock, the
obelisk thing.
The obelisk. Yeah. That was kind of weird.
Another weird thing. Cause at first I'm like, are they setting these things up? I'm like, there's no way these things are heavy, and they came in with us and they didn't go there and do any we met in Homer, that's the town nearest that we can get to. And then we got on the boat together and then we went and started filming. And it was just weird how these random things were just like, oh, I've never seen that before. So I climbed up there and felt around. I'm like, maybe it's hollow, but it wasn't. So I couldn't imagine what it was for.
That was kind of a really weird thing to just be.
And then at the base, it was like a couple feet around, and it was weird.
I couldn't imagine finding that in the woods of Alaska.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird.
But there's also like the production team, because they've done their research before they came. We're talking about like the Spaniards came.
Oh. And
then the British came and the Russians came, but they all left for weird reasons. And so one of the theories that we came up with is maybe when the Spaniards came, they built it and, this is our claim. This is what...
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
So, yeah, you can totally go into a rabbit hole just doing research just on Portlock, which I did a little bit after making the show. It's just crazy to think like that's like right next to where my village is, where I grew up. Like I was actually born in my village and grew up there till I was 14 until I went to high school outside.
That's insane.
And hearing like they actually had a cannery, a process, where they cut and package fish. They had logging there. They had a mine nearby, and it's like I did not realize that that little tiny area of middle of nowhere Alaska was such a huge booming place.
Right. It certainly doesn't look like it now, that's for sure.
It's amazing how Mother Nature can take back what's hers.
Absolutely.
In a short amount of time. It's awesome. I love it.
Do you think it gave you like I don't even know how to say this, because in Alaska and in your villages, that's one of the things that you really respect. Respect nature, you respect the earth, you respect, the heritage and the culture. Whereas, and I think outside of that, people take it for granted. They take advantage.
Absolutely.
So do you think you left there with like even more respect than you did before you went there?
I've always had a deep respect for nature and that kind of area, but I came back with a deeper respect for that location of Portlock. Like, I want to know more. Like, I research more. I definitely ask a lot more questions now.
Yeah.
And, I really, really hope we start filming season 2.
Is there going to be a season 2?
Well, it hasn't been canceled, but it also hasn't been, like, it's still kind of like in the lingo of like, is it picking up traction for the production company? But we definitely want to keep going. So,
well, if you need bait, I'm your girl.
I think.
I mean, I don't really want to be bait, but I mean, yeah.
I think it would be amazing to have, now that we've already had this first season, now we know more people in the community.
Oh my gosh,
like
yes.
the Bigfoot community. So, I would love to have season 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just have like you come.
Oh my
have
gosh,
Daniel come. Have RPG come. And just get people from different who have had different experiences, and be able to come and we want to. The reason why we went there in the first place was our village is getting overpopulated.
Yeah.
There's no houses, no new houses. There's not very much room because if you see from the show, it's mountain and ocean. There's not
many places to go.
Yeah, and it's not like we want to cut into the side of a mountain too much, because that goes against like ruining the land that we don't want to do and disturb what's already there. But our Portlock was thriving, and we went to go see. There were still some old logging roads that were, there we saw the water tower, and it's like, okay, it's kind of still mapped out like a small town, so it would, we went and we were able to get fish, and we found berries, and we found seafood at low tide like we do back home in Nunwalek. And so if we start, building down there and, being able to expand our village, or, and then be able to have, wonderful people like you guys to, kind of help keep an eye out.
Oh my gosh.
That would be amazing. Like, we can work during the day, and at night we can kind of go and investigate.
Explore, and check it out.
I think that would be amazing. Like, I really want that.
Yeah. I can't say how beautiful it is there. It is so beautiful. Like, and so pristine. Like,
yeah.
I mean, nature has taken it back so much that it's almost untouched.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's
you
just
have to walk
so
into the
beautiful.
woods and see some of the stuff to be like, oh, there was a settlement here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it was amazing to see some of that equipment.
You can't drive up on a boat and see it from the boat. Like, you actually have to walk into the woods, and you'd be like, oh, there's a water tower here, but it's like everything's overgrown.
Right. You can't see it unless you're walking in there.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a time when the guy with the gun, didn't he have to leave?
Yes.
Something happened and he had to leave.
Yeah.
I was shitting my pants for you. I was like, oh my gosh, the guy with the gun is not there anymore. Like, what's happening?
I had knives. I cooked. I was actually hired originally just to cook for the cast and crew.
Nice.
And then we had a meeting, and my beard and my hair, they're like, who is this guy? I'm like, I'm their cousin. Like, you guys hired me to cook. Like, you got to be on TV. And I'm like,
you're like, what?
I'm still like get really nervous about talking, because when I was first left my village, it was like 200 people there. And I get to my high school in the city, and there's like 800 students in my school alone. And I was just right away social anxiety. Didn't like talking to people. Like I grew up in the woods, and like I'm in the city now. It's because I went to cooking school and I got to pay for it.
Yeah, there's that, isn't there?
Yeah.
The evil dollar.
I would love to just be like, all right, I'm going back to the woods, and like I could, but when I leave the woods, then we'll be like, oh, credit card debt, student loan debt, everything else. So
yeah, it gets you. They get you. They get you all the way around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sounded cool in my head, though. I was like, oh, let's go to Minneapolis and go to cooking school.
Oh, yeah. It sounded great, didn't it?
And then I got to cook across the country, like all the way from West Virginia to Alaska. So
I have some friends that lived in Kodiak, Alaska. They were Coast Guard.
Oh, wow.
And I hear them tell me stories about Alaska, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it just, besides the fact that you have a lot of darkness for a while in the winter, I'm like, I would love to go there, but I don't want to go there when it's dark.
You know what the beauty of the darkness in the wintertime?
What?
There's no like real bad light pollution like in the cities. So you see the stars and they're bright, and the moon lights up everything really nicely. It reflects off the snow, so sometimes it's easier to see at night than it is when it's changing from day to night, and it's that gloomy haze. Plus, we also have the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights.
Oh, that would be so beautiful to see.
And when we were making the show, like our camp was pointing at the mountain that separates our village and Portlock. And well, there's a couple of mountains in between, but that main mountain is really big. And I think it was like the second or third week, the Northern Lights came out over the mountain, and it was just like, and our location is so far south in Alaska that it's not as bright or visible as like Fairbanks, where it's known for having these big, enormous dance shows. But it was out, and I was like, I haven't seen it out like that in that area in like 20 years. Like, it was amazing. And they set up a time-lapse camera and everything, too. And it was so cool. I wish I can get some of the footage that they had that they didn't put on the show just to have for personal, because it was cool.
Oh, my gosh. That would be so amazing. That would be so amazing. I am always taking pictures of the nighttime sky, the moon, the stars, the planets, the sunsets, the sunrises. And so that would be right up my alley to see that beautiful Northern Lights would be. Oh my gosh. That would be amazing.
It is definitely quite an experience.
Oh.
Like, you literally can't say anything. You're just looking and you're just like in awe. You're just like, wow. This is amazing.
It's breathtaking.
Everyone's like, shh,
just be in the moment.
Yeah. Soak it all in right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So if they came to you today and said, we're going to do season 2, are you ready to go?
Absolutely.
You're going?
Absolutely. I am in transition of going from one job to another job right now. And the good thing about my other job is someone I've known for a long time, and he knows about the show. He's actually, yesterday when I was at work, he started putting the show on. They got like a 75-inch TV in their dining area. And he's like, oh, yeah, that guy right there, he's back there cooking right now. They're like, no way. And then he's like, hey, come here, DJ. And I went out there. I was like, what's going on? And he's like, he pointed at the TV, and I was like, oh, geez. Like, oh. So there's a lot of people asking questions. They're like, oh, we're going to watch it now. I'm like, right on. Like,
oh.
So he really wants this to happen too, just because he thinks it's awesome also. And
it is awesome.
So like this trip to England, he's like, just make sure, you know, you got your dates and stuff. Is like, let me know if you need help with anything. And I'm like, thank you. And I need to get back to Kyle in the next couple of days because he's got some. He has this company that does backcountry hikes and adventures, and he asked me if I wanted to go be bear guard with them for like a week and help and do the cooking for the clients that he has, and it'd be like 4 or 5 days out in the wilderness with them. I'm like, I would love to do that. So
that would be amazing.
Now that I got this other job, I'm more flexible to do those kind of things now.
Right,
so
right.
I'm really excited because this is all literally happening within like a week.
Oh, wow.
So when you messaged me originally about would these dates work for doing a podcast, and I was trying to base it off my work schedule before working on the oil field, and I was cooking up there. And it's usually 2 weeks at work and then 2 weeks off.
Right.
So I was trying to because the later date would have been my work time, so I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I got this other job. I was all excited because I was like overwhelmed with like I can do so much more stuff. Like my friend's dad wants me to take him fishing and stuff for halibut and salmon this summer. So
oh my gosh,
we're gonna go do that, and it's gonna be great. I'm like, I actually get time off from work to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my
this
gosh.
is amazing.
I need a job like that.
Well, it's about 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, but you can take time off to do these things.
That's nice.
And it's working with a good friend, so
yeah,
like time flies, and his kids come in and visit us sometimes and run around and stuff at the restaurant. So it's pretty cool. I was like, I miss this whole family experience. I get to in the city with my older brother lives up here too, so I get to see him and his kids. And Anchorage is like our biggest city in Alaska, and they're gonna have the Native Youth Olympics here soon.
Oh,
and it's a statewide competition. Every school in Alaska basically has a team, and they've been practicing for months and years to compete against each other. It's so cool.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's literally like the Olympics of Alaska. I remember when I was in school, I was competing in it and training for it. And it's really cool because you get the school together. They have matching shirts with their school logo, and you
never hear about this kind of stuff on anywhere. You never hear about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is. And then it gets the kids together, and they train together, and they do. And when we get done with this, you should look up Native Youth Olympics, Anchorage, Alaska, and watch some of the events they do. It's like, it's some really. It takes some athletic ability to be able to do a lot of these. Like, there's kids kicking a ball 10 feet in the air and landing on the same foot they kicked with.
Wow.
And they train for it.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Bonnie wants to know, have you ever seen a Bigfoot?
I personally have not. Other than the cabin experience, I didn't want to look back because I was afraid of what I'd see.
How has all of this changed you? Because you didn't go there intending to be in the TV show. You went there to cook.
And
you got kind of sucked into the TV show, and all of that hiking and all of those experiences. Has that changed you in any way?
Yeah. It made me realize this is where I'm supposed to be. Because I was in Minneapolis, Wisconsin, and West Virginia for like 5 years, right before, like, literally I came home December right before we made the show, when we started filming in April, and I literally just wanted to come home because I was like, I'm tired of the city. I'm tired of, like, I gained some great experience and met some cool people traveling across the country cooking, but I was like, I'm happy to be back in my woods.
I don't blame you.
And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we heard you went to cooking school and you cook. Like, we need, someone to cook for the cast and crew. And I was like, sure. Like, I can go foraging. My mom, she helped write books about plants so that you can forage and medicinal uses and like how to prepare them, like boil them, cook them over the fire and stuff like that.
Oh.
So I was like, I can do like now that I went to cooking school, I can learned all these different techniques, and I can go through like her book, and like I wanted to make like a little documentary and like write it down, take pictures.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And like make my own like recipes out of what, and like collaborate it with my mom's book that she helped write. So I was really hoping to do that, and then next thing I know, I'm on TV. And I didn't get to do all the stuff that I was intended to do.
Right. Oh my gosh.
I was in Canaan Valley, West Virginia, at the Canaan Valley Ski Resort and Golf Course.
Nice. I think I would like your mom because I'm a paramedic, but I very much am interested in holistic medicine.
My mom was their village health aide for 30 years.
Oh, see, I knew I would like her.
I smiled and
I'm always looking for natural ways to take care of things, headaches, aches and pains, and just all kinds of stuff. Like,
I didn't know there was a name for it, like the holistics. Now that I'm like seeing all these different books about it, I'm like, I just use this plant, like some flowers or these leaves, and make a tea with them because that's what my mom taught me how to do.
Yep.
And like if you had a really bad cut or an infection, a small infection, or you take like the devil's club and then you'd rip the bark off and there's like this green membrane. And then you peel that green off, you chew it, you put it on your cut, cover it up, and the next day like all the infections like pulled out.
That's amazing.
It's like cool little stuff like that.
Absolutely. That stuff is amazing.
And I got a really bad burn from radiator fluid.
Ooh.
I was lucky. I covered my head and I felt it. It's like my arm is like really hot right now. I should probably run away. I'm happy I covered my face.
Oh my gosh.
But, they had silvadine that they gave me, and it didn't really do anything other than made it not itchy too bad, I guess.
Right.
So my mom started making a salve for me out of devil's club root and olive oil, and she'd put in beeswax, and she would stick a needle in vitamin E pills and squeeze that into it, and it almost completely healed. Like, you can't even tell. Like, they were thinking about doing a skin graft, and I was like, man, I just wanted to check the vehicle where it was leaking. I just want to cut a piece of skin off my back and put it on my arm. Like,
oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that.
And my mom was like, I'll take care of it.
Oh. And when you went back to the doctor, they were probably like, what? How did this happen?
Yeah, it was 2nd and 3rd degree burns from a chemical. So.
Oh my gosh.
It was a long, 8 months of
I
healing.
Bet.
And then after that, it just looked really bad. And then I used the salve that she made all the time, and it's almost completely healed.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Natural medicine is amazing. It's amazing. I often, when I first started researching Bigfoot and I'd be walking through the woods, I often thought to myself, does Bigfoot know how to use these plants for medicinal reasons? Because you'd think they'd get sick or they'd get cut or they'd get burned, or, you know what I mean? They've got to have some kind of knowledge of earthly medicine.
So my theory is, from stories I've heard, and I've heard some stories of people seeing Bigfoot and stuff. What I came up with, what I believe is, Bigfoot is a protector of the land. All that terrible stuff that happened in Portlock, I feel like maybe people were getting greedy and trying to take too much.
And he was
like, nope, this has got to stop.
Right.
Because my mom always taught us, just take what you need. Don't get greedy.
Yeah.
You don't take too much and like hold on to it. Like
Right.
other people, like when we go foraging at low tide for like mussels and stuff like that, or go fishing, you want to get more, but you can only dry so much fish. You can only smoke so much fish. You can only jar so much fish. And then, so growing up where we grew up is such a tight family oriented community. Like we try to help each other out. And, I remember when me and one of my cousins were fishing, we were pulling maybe 15, 20 fish from our net every day. And we were like, yeah, that's all right. And they're like, oh, I'll just pull the net out of the water. I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm having a good time. I'm learning. And then a lot of people started pulling their nets out of the water. Then, like, the next day, we got like 400 fish. It was just a late run of salmon.
Oh, my God.
So we were just, when we went over to my sister's house, we backed up his truck over by her fish cleaning area, and I was like, get on the phone, get on the radios. They're just calling people, just hey, bring a tote and a knife and come clean some fish. And people are just like, really? Like, yeah, like there's too much.
There's plenty, yeah. Plenty for everyone. Oh my gosh. So do you think Bigfoot is a real flesh and blood creature, or do you think there's more to it than that?
I think there's more to it. Because our stories also, I heard growing up is Bigfoot's a shapeshifter as well.
Nice.
So, and you're out in the woods and you got like this little bird following you, like hopping on the ground behind you, like start getting worried.
And have you ever had experiences like that?
Yes. I've had like ravens follow, like when I'm walking through the woods, and then you can hear them doing their whistling and then keep coming closer and then taking off for a little bit and then coming closer again. And it's like, okay, maybe I should get going. Like, and it's usually when I'm like by myself, and especially if I don't have like a gun or something with me.
Yeah.
Like I'll just be like, oh, I want to go drive down to Dogfish Bay. It's in between Port Lock and our village. And I go down there, and then that's when I started hearing weird noises and stuff like that. Or just, there's also, the feeling, like when you saw Bigfoot, where you almost feel like frozen.
Yes.
And you're like, I should just not be here right now. There's definitely been some times where I was in the woods, even with a couple of people, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, something is there. I can't see it, but there's something there.
It's watching you. It's what you
Absolutely.
feel like. You feel like you're being watched.
Yeah, and like I feel like people say that too much, but it is a real thing.
Yeah.
And it literally just kind of just stops you. And you're just like, everything starts, your hairs all start sticking up. It's like extrasensory overload.
Yep.
And you're just like, like, I feel like if I keep going, it might be a very bad decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I always equate it to feeling like somebody just walked into the room. You know how like you don't have to see them, but you just know it feels like a shift in the energy.
Yes,
you,
exactly.
You just know, like, and because I'll be in the woods and I'll be walking along and I'll stop and I'll be like, something just came into the room. Like you can just feel it. There's an energy shift and you feel like you're no longer alone. And you're just like, do I go on? Do I turn around? Like, it feels like somebody just came into the room. Danny wants to know if you've ever had mind speak.
I don't even know what that is.
So some people claim that Bigfoot talks to them telepathically.
I don't think that has happened to me, but I do believe in it.
Do you?
Yes. Where I grew up and hearing all the stories, like, then finding out all the stories aren't just stories and it's real, like,
Right.
I can believe it. Like, why would it not work? There could be when they hear the howls and stuff like that, maybe that's a warning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I definitely do believe in it.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely, I hear stories of Bigfoot being a trickster and stuff like that. And that could be, a way of luring you into the, go
And
check out that tree,
Yeah.
that spooky tree. Like,
See
come
what
on. And
happens
you're like, hey
next.
guys, I'm going to go check out the tree real quick. I can see that happening, like us being by the fire talking about it. And you're like, I'm going to go check out the tree. Like, what are you doing? It's like 11 o'clock at night.
I don't know. I just feel like I need to
feel
do
like
it.
I need to go. No, I'll go. Hand me one of those
my.
handheld cameras. I'll document it,
Yeah. And when you find
Number
it on the
one thing
ground and I'm
Kyle
not there.
told us is like, we don't go alone.
Yeah.
Especially at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely see Bigfoot mind speaking and being like, hey, you need to go check out that tree right now.
Yeah.
You're right. I probably should. I can
And then
totally see that playing out.
never being seen again.
Yes.
They'll be like, where did DJ go?
There's the camera right there, and there's one of his shoes.
Yeah, but he's not here.
He's nowhere to be found.
That would not be a good show.
No.
I mean, it would be very suspenseful, to say the least, but not good.
I mean, if it was like 2 or 3 episodes later and I'm like
walking out of the woods,
they're like hiking along and I just like come out of the moss like, I heard your guys' footsteps.
Oh my gosh, that would be incredible.
Something dragged me and I'm not a small guy, so
right? Oh my gosh. It was an incredible show. I hope you have a season 2. Because I've been waiting now for some time.
Well, we need to just get more people to watch it and leave good reviews and say we need, season 2.
I will message them
we get
every
enough
day.
people to say it, they'll be like, they're right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've put up with several years of some of the other shows.
This is true.
I'm not going to mention any names. I would love a second season of Alaskan Killer Bigfoot. Because there's a lot to the story that hasn't even been told yet.
And then just the beauty of the area, like, could be another, like, National Geographic documentary on just the mountains and the ocean and the animals that live there.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't even include the story of Portlock. That's just the beauty.
And you didn't even really get to go, like, very far.
No. We could have gone a lot farther.
Yeah, you didn't even get to hike like super deep in.
Oh no,
to really check things out.
There's a couple of those mountains that I was like, I want to climb that. Like, just you'd have a great aerial view, and there's like 2 or 3 episodes of just hiking.
That would be amazing.
Of amazing hiking.
It would be amazing.
Finding stuff along the way of like, I was able to, like, when we caught fish and stuff, I would break them down, me and Guy, and we'd talk about what we're doing and what we're using and stuff like that. And then I would cook it over the fire.
That's awesome.
I wish those got on the TV show. They recorded it all, but like, they had a certain thing that they were looking for, and
a lot of it ended up on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it's all right. At first, I was embarrassed, and I was like, I told my mom, and I was like, I don't know. Like, this is not how they told us it was going to be. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't want to be a part of it. And she's like, you get to show how beautiful it is where we're from. And I was like, you're right.
You're right. She is absolutely right.
Because no matter where I've gone from West Virginia to Hawaii, like they're like, oh, Alaska's pretty. Like, I'm like, it is, but like where I'm from, it's different.
Yeah.
Like I can't explain it. You just have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So having all those like aerial views and those 4K cameras around, like that didn't do it justice, but like you were able to see or get, you know, a little piece of it and be like, okay, intrigued now.
Yeah. Because what I saw on the show was amazing, and I would love to come there sometime and just go for a walk because I think it's incredible, and I very much am into that kind of stuff. So I would take full like stock in the beauty and the sereneness of it all. So I would totally go. I would totally go. You don't have to ask me twice. I'm booking a plane. I'm It's in the United States, so it won't be so expensive.
In our village in the summertime, they have like this summer youth program, and they teach the kids how to catch fish, cut fish, process, pick berries, how to make jams, jellies, and stuff like that. And then they also have hoop house gardens and stuff too, where they made out of PVC pipe, and they grow carrots and potatoes and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So it's like teaching the youth. So maybe if you have a specific skill that you can teach the youth, we might be able to work something out to have you come out for like a week and, you know, teach.
Well, now I'm going to learn a special skill. If I don't have one already, I'm going to learn one because I'm coming out there. Even if it's to talk Bigfoot with the little kids, I don't care. I'm coming.
You can come and teach a class on how to set up a podcast.
Oh, that would be awesome. And then they can all do a podcast. That would be great.
And then do a podcast with, you know, the students and, you know, what they've done for. This is like the gears are spinning right now. Like I might have to talk to my sister about this. This would be
I have cameras. We could document all of this and turn it into a little documentary.
Yeah.
The future of Alaska.
That would be amazing.
It would be. Oh my gosh, that would be so amazing. That would be so amazing. I'm in, totally in. You just tell me when, and I'm there.
We'll definitely have to like keep chatting about this, like after the podcast, and
that'd be
awesome. Maybe we can get something going. Maybe you never know.
That would be amazing.
Like, I was just gonna cook for the cast and crew. Now I'm sitting here doing a podcast with you, telling you how beautiful Alaska is.
And then we're about to go to the UK and hang out in person. Because I think you and I are both doing the forest excursion.
Yes.
Yes. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to get to see you in person and hang out with you. And that's going to be so freaking cool. I'm going to have to get your autograph.
When I talk to people on podcasts, like I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually talking to this podcaster.
And we're going,
like I'm just a normal person and I'm like talking to people who have their own podcast. Like, this is cool.
I think the same thing. I'm just me. I'm really nobody. And here I am talking to DJ freaking Brewster.
When people were asking me about the show yesterday, like, I'm just a dishwasher. Like you're on TV. I'm like,
you're like, no. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to let you go because I know you don't feel good. And you've been a great sport because I can hear how stuffy you are.
Yeah, it feels like it's getting more drier and congested.
It's horrible. Horrible. Take some tea tree oil.
I actually do have
neti pot with it. Good stuff.
I do have tea tree oil. My brother always has some. Because he would put it in the salves, and then my sister would make soaps, and she'd put that in the soap also.
Tea tree oil is amazing.
It is.
Underutilized majorly. Yeah, it's good stuff. I really want to thank you for coming on with us tonight And I'm super excited in a month that I'm going to get to see you in person. It's going to be so much fun.
Right.
And we're going to get to hang
I'm
out
excited too.
for like a week. It's going to be awesome. So take care of yourself, get feeling better, hang out until the outro is done. And then you can go lay on the couch and cover up. And
I'm already on the couch. I just need to put my feet up after and I'm good to go.
I hear you. Well, I want to thank everybody for commenting and watching tonight because it was pretty awesome. DJ's pretty fun to talk to, and maybe we can have him back. I'll have you back after we could do the UK thing and we can talk about it.
We can do another one before and then we can do an after.
Yeah. Talk about our experience in the UK. It'll be awesome.
Maybe we can go live there.
We could do that. We could totally do that. Yeah. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
DJ's my new best friend. I think you're gonna see DJ and I together more often. I think
it'll be fun. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Thank you, everybody.
We just become best friends.
I know. We just became best friends. It's awesome. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a CARC